Hello and welcome to episode number 65 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is change your environment, you'll change your result. Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trim. Now, you and I have seen all the memes. We've seen all the memes that we are the product or the result of the 5 people we hang out with or we spend the most time with. And that's completely true. I'm a big believer that think about your clients. If a client's trying to lose weight, if a client is trying to lose weight, lose 10 kilos, 10 pounds, 20 pounds over the next 10 weeks, and they're hanging out with people who eat fast food, McDonald's, and go to the pub every single day drinking alcohol, what are the chances of them succeeding with, the program or with getting the result that they actually wanted? 0 to none, right? Because naturally, you then build up and face a lot more of what I call resistance around you. And resistance is the fear, is family, friends, excuses, obstacles, anything that comes up to stop you from getting to where you want to go. And why I'm doing this podcast episode today is because when I look back to the time that I spent in Idaho, Boise, inside Russell Brunson's Mastermind, I sat down with these guys who, made me gulp at the fact that, and they made me feel insignificant because they were running $1 billion hedge fund and $1 million tech companies that were going to sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. And in terms of my mind, in terms of where I was playing, in terms of the space that I was playing at, I hadn't yet comprehended what that money meant. I wasn't able to comprehend what I needed to do. I wasn't able to comprehend what value I needed to bring out into the world to be able to create that much wealth and income. And so when I was sitting there, I felt out of place. I felt small. I felt insignificant. And it wasn't until I started talking, it wasn't until I started strategizing, it wasn't until I started really relating and seeing how much value I actually could offer to these people that made my mind change. And it made me realize something. And it made me realize that these guys are just people. These people that we look up to, these people that we aspire to be, these people that we respect are the same as you. They're the same as you and I, right? Inside this world. Yet, what we think here in terms of our small environment, in terms of our little shell, is that we hold ourselves down and we pull ourselves down because we believe, right? We believe we should be at this income level, this certain income level, because we're held down by our standards and by our environment. One of the biggest things that I learned inside Boise, and that's given me a huge momentum shift, not only a momentum shift, but it allowed me to go from second gear to third gear, into that next level, and entering into that world, yes, breaking through that fear, but going, I deserve to be here, is the fact that I surrounded myself by heavy hitters, by people who are playing on a different stratosphere than what I was used to. I was used to playing in my own playground. I was used to playing in my own pond, and I was comfortable in there. But it wasn't until that I stepped up and I saw what these incredible people were doing and realizing that I had value to help them, and I knew that I could help them, and I was as good as they were. It gave me this hope. Not even this hope, it gave me this certainty that I was going to succeed. Hope is a bad word. Okay, and that's what I want you to take a look at inside your business, inside of your life at this very moment in time. Is that the people that you surround yourself by are holding you back, whether or not you know it. Okay, whether or not you want to accept it, that is the truth, that is the reality. Their standards will become your standards. Okay, as much as you want to strive forward, they will hold you back because they will tell you it's okay. You're working too hard. It's okay if you don't succeed. Why are you working too hard? Oh, you're not going to make that money. They will inflict you with their limiting beliefs, their doubt, their excuses. They will tell you, and they'll make it okay for you to not reach higher. And that's okay if you want that. Okay, but if you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to me, if you've been following me, you want a bigger life. You want more. And that's what I'm here to give you. And the biggest thing that I could share with you, and it's made a drastic impact, was the ability to find the money, find the why to invest in somebody else who was 10 times above me. Okay, invest in them. Stop going to those seminars. Stop dabbling around. and actually go all in and commit to going, right, I'm going to spend a year with that person and that group and that environment, and I'm going to absorb everything I can. Because it's not about the money that you invest in it, it's the people and the network and the relationships that you will build, but also it's the certainty that you will give yourself in being in that environment, that you know you were there for a particular reason and that it is your time to level up. And so a lot of the times these masterminds, whilst they offer great information, whilst the good ones anyway, but whilst they offer great, care, support, you really start getting the value after the mastermind because it's an investment in your own self, giving yourself that certainty that you belong here and that you belong and that you level up, and giving yourself that realization that you can do it as well. A lot of the times people don't succeed, right? People don't succeed because they don't have the certainty. They don't have the belief in themselves. The truth is, if you have 10 people doing what you want to do and they're all succeeding, and you realize that they're just human, and you realize that they're just like you, you're going to do everything you can to level up and be just like them. And naturally, they will pull you along without you even realizing. Those days and nights that you thought were hard, that you thought were difficult, you thought you were tired, you had excuses, that's great. Those excuses will still be there. But tomorrow, you'll be even hungrier for work because you know that they're ahead of you and they're pulling you along with it. And so that's one of the things that I really wanted to share in terms of my own key takeaway, in terms of where I'm going with my direction. And as I'm growing, I want to be able to share that experience with you and document this down because it's important. When you're trying to build a legacy, you want to document things down. You want to get things on video. You want to capture things on blog, email, writing. Document as many things down because that is your legacy you're going to leave behind to your children, your grandkids, and ultimately anyone who wants to know about your story. And so this is my story. This is me leveling up from going from second gear to third gear. And I wanted to share this with you today because at times complexity causes inaction. And one of the biggest things that you need to do, and don't even overthink it, is actually go and hang out with people who are 10 times above you, people that you want to be, people who will show you, who scare you to be around, who intimidate you, and actually get to know them as a person, add value into their life, and actually make yourself and become the person that you'd want to be surrounded by. Okay, a lot of people, when they join these groups or when they reach out to mentors, and they start to go, well, how do I reach out to a mentor? It's like, offer so much value so that your mentor actually wants to hang out with you. And if you can do that, then you win. And that's you leveling up. It's not how do I get them to contact me? It's who do I need to become so that they want to contact me? It's the types of questions that you want to ask yourself. So that is all I have for you today. So that's the one thing I want you to go and do. Think about your environment today. Think about where you want to go, and is your environment serving you? If it isn't, you need to change that today. And if you want to do though, reach out to me inside the Online Trainers Club. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you on the next podcast episode. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.